Let go of sacred geometry. Why should you quit learning sacred geometry? Because sacred geometry only gives you 17% truth. How do we know that? The foundation of truth is in the African pyramids. The first pyramid ever built is the Imhotepian step pyramid and is the measure of truth. Why is this pyramid the measure of truth? Because its construction is what proved that the abstract can be made real and illustrative of the dynamics that exist in the non-real. It also illustrated the vertical ascendancy of existence, which must happen only when certain dynamics had been implemented. These dynamics are not dependent on hegemonic power-grabbing greed, as we see in the so-called survival of the fittest ladder-climbing rubbish. They exist in accordance with horizontal expansion, which must happen before vertical ascendance. There is an illustration that goes along with that. Mutual inclusivity. That's what the diagrams show. They show mutual inclusivity. Mutual inclusivity is dependent on transformation and translation. For instance, the two black circles are identified and they are mutually inclusive. Because the two circles are of the same potentials, they possess commonality and they won't require transformation. However, since their mutual inclusivity is entwined with a triangle, translation and transformation must happen. What we are about to learn here is that out of these three forces we can physically connect with truth, and that truth is symbolic of the trinity of time, magnetism, and electricity. Therefore, you can't be truthful if you are confused about your purpose in life, because purpose is the magnetic force that drives you to accomplishing the purpose. Similarly, you can't be truthful if your melatonin natural time is all dominated by serotonin, the neurotransmitter of anxiety and aggression. Also, you can't be truthful if your electrical potential is constantly running high and low, causing you to procrastinate, neglect commitments, steal, deceive, manipulate, and con others of what legitimately belongs to them. Now, let me give you the 11 essences of truth. This is very, very pertinent because they are what we all associate with some periods of our existence, of our daily existence. So here they are, the 11 essences of truth. The 11 essences of truth are the following: non-selectivity, firm but flexible, accommodating but demanding of accountability, tolerant but demanding of responsibility, knowledgeable but with higher understanding, peaceful but without complacency, accomplished but without greed, satisfied but without seduction, patient but not passive, active but not aggressive, reasonable but not compromising. These essences, these 11 essences, have a foundation at the deepest level of your memory matrix. This is where the remaining 83% of truth is found. Since only 17% truth is found in sacred geometry, there cannot be any convincing you that the real truth can only be found in fractal geometry. Why? Because fractal geometry takes you to the source. The source is where you get the real taste of anything. Now you know that at 17%, you are 83 steps away from the real test. Is it any wonder that you are unfulfilled? This has to explain problems such as addiction, artificial sexual stimulation, such as Viagra for men and other more heinous devices for women. Even the children are rebellious and distrustful of authority figures such as their teachers and their parents. No one is getting the real taste of the truth. This is what secret geometry has done to humanity. The Christians love it in as much as the Muslims do. The Jews love it in as much as the Buddhists do. Why? Well, why shouldn't they? They know it's a numbers game. They know that at 17%, you would need 5 transformations and 5 translations in order to get to 83%. And they know that you will not have the fortitude to undertake even one challenge. Now you get the real truth. Now you know what secret geometry does. It doesn't give you the mathematics of your essence, because it's only with mathematics that you know you can be selective or non-selective. It's only with mathematics that you know you can be firm but flexible. It's these mathematics that you learn at the fractal level. So stop running towards something that's easy, because eventually you will have to come to something that you thought was hard, but in effect was really easy. Fractal geometry, the way that the Dogon teach it, is very easy. All you have to do is contact Professor Momo at the Dogon University of Thought. This is the only man on the planet who is teaching this geometry, the way it should be taught. Go somewhere else, you know you will come back to Professor Momo. I thank you very much for listening, and I know you are going to send me questions which I'll be very pleased to answer. www.dogonuniversity.com. I definitely want to hear from you. Nama.